Welcome everyone to another episode of What's Working in E-commerce. I'm your host, Egan Heath, the owner of Caravan Digital. We're a digital marketing agency for direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands. Today I have on Kerri McDonald from The Greenhouse, who's an expert in SMS and email marketing. Kerri, welcome.
Thank you, Egan. Thank you for having me.
I really wanted to have someone on to specifically talk about SMS and text. We can certainly talk about email and everything like that too. Tell us a little bit about, your experience in e-commerce. I know you were on the brand side before and you really saw success there. I think as the director of marketing, you're sort of the in-house marketer, and now you've started your own agency. Tell us a little bit about that background and kind of what you learned from that experience growing a brand to the size you did.
My experience on the brand side was awesome. I recommend anyone that wants to get into marketing, start as a generalist with a brand, having their hands in every channel, because you really get to learn all about the customer, journey and life cycle and all the channels and what they mean and their importance. And then over time, you kind of become a specialist and you fall in love with certain channels. And that's what happened with me with email and SMS. I really fell in love with those two channels. SMS specifically is the most direct way to access your customers right now and speak to them. So it just became channels that I really fell in love with. They're very high converting, obviously. So it makes it really nice, better than ads where it's hard to see, a return. But yeah, working on the brand side has been fantastic. And then I just took my knowledge and went all in, to email and SMS, one service, two channels for brands.
Mm-hmm. Love it. And I'm curious, was there a moment or was there some early success there where you guys sent an SMS and it just went like gangbusters and you're like, whoa, this is a serious channel?
Well, I think it was Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, I think around Q4, maybe in 2019. Where SMS generated as much revenue as the email channel. And the SMS list was smaller, obviously, because that's just natural. So the SMS list was smaller, and that's Google Analytics reporting that it made the same amount of money, both six figures, and SMS was very close to being higher. And I was like, okay, and that's typically what brands see. So when you see a channel that you can send to less people and do a little bit less effort with that has the same or better results, it's not a channel to ignore.
So I'm curious, at that old brand then, or where you used to be, was that you were basically growing your lists, I assume email and SMS, and that was driving a lot of the business growth, and you saw how that scaled the brand. Is that correct?
Yeah, email and SMS, they're retention channels. So it scaled the brand. It helped to drive the customer lifetime value, for sure. Helped with those initial conversions, through the welcome series and the abandoned carts and all that. Absolutely necessary for the growth of the company.
And how do you tell people if they're sort of new to this way of thinking, like, why is customer retention so important?
Number one, it makes your business more valuable. But number two, it's a lot harder and more expensive to acquire new customers rather than converting and getting more out of returning customers. Once you can get someone to buy from you a first time, as long as you can make them come back 2-3 times, you have a customer for life.
Yep. That first purchase is often the most expensive, or should be the most expensive, and it's not getting any cheaper out there, right?
Right. Right.
Any other learnings from that initial brand that you've kind of brought in, or anything that sticks out to you of how that brand scaled so large?
Is leveraging all the channels. I mean, I think that's important. We're here talking about SMS and email a little bit, and those are very, very important, but they play one part in the customer journey. The acquisition efforts, the conversion efforts, they're just as important as the retention efforts. And, your retention efforts are not going to be as successful if you're not acquiring new people or getting new eyes on the brand. So I think with that brand, it was really the perfect storm of all of those channels working perfectly together, acquiring the new customers, getting more eyes on the brand, converting them with the website, and then, retaining them with email and SMS.
I'm very curious. Tell me if maybe this isn't a good way to start, but I'm always curious, what tools are you using? And then how are you getting people on the list initially? What's kind of that opt-in offer?
So in terms of tools, so like just SMS platforms, I'm very biased. I use Attentive and I recommend them the most. Postscript is also a close second, and there is Klaviyo SMS. I love Klaviyo for email, but that's all I'm going to say there.
Not there yet on text. All right. Yep.
While SMS is really performing well and it has very high conversion rates and it can generate as much or very close to your email list, it's still very important to give people the option. Not everybody's going to want to give you their phone number, right? And that's completely fine. So when it comes to growing the list, we always would defer to collecting both the email and the SMS in separate steps, letting the customers choose where they want to be hearing from the brand. And so for list growth, I've seen that to be most people start with the email. They'll gladly give you their email, and then maybe half of those people will also give you their phone number. And then you can use channels like Instagram and your mobile site to collect SMS first because you know that they're already in a mobile, first kind of world. So
I have to ask on, say, the pop-up or whatever, the opt-in offer is, what's the tool that you're using for that? Because it sounds like people are opting into Klaviyo and then potentially also into Attentive for SMS.
I use the pop-ups that are built onto the platforms, honestly. So the Attentive pop-up and the Postscript pop-up, they both integrate into Klaviyo. So, I use those. There's Privy. You could get a little more specific on your targeting for your pop-up. But then same thing, just like linking that into your SMS platform, linking that into your Klaviyo platform.
That's great. Any other tips you can give or share around, is there a magic amount of time you should wait when someone's been on the site and then we do the opt-in offer? Anything else that's high level that you've found that really seems to work in terms of getting opt-ins?
Yes. Immediate page load right when they land on site.
Wow.
I'm sorry to say it, but if your goal is to have people join your list and convert them via, the least expensive channels, email and SMS, you want to be growing your list constantly. The typical opt-in rates that we're seeing are anywhere from like 5 to 10% on a good range. That's what we aim for our clients, 5 to 10% opt-in rate.
Yeah, people are going to your Shopify site or WooCommerce or whatever, and they're peacing out, they're leaving. And you can pay to remarket to them with ads, or if we can get them on the list, we could start the conversation and they could hear from us a couple more times, right?
Yeah. And then in terms of, opt-ins, increasing the opt-ins in terms of the offer, definitely testing dollar versus percent off. You could test giveaways, people like win a free whatever, win a free set, win a free subscription for life, do monthly polls of new subscribers for that month. Those are two other things that we test for offers, but always like something that they can redeem, whether it's like a giveaway or it's an offer that they can redeem. Just tends to push those opt-ins. And you can test timing, you might see a higher opt-in rate if you delay the pop-up, but you're going to get less eyes on the pop-up. So while it's a higher opt-in rate, it's less subscribers.
That's a great tip. Don't just go by opt-in percentage, like go by traffic percentage, basically total. Wow.
Yeah. You want to keep tracking it, like test it for sure. A lot of people are like, I don't want to see the pop-up right away. That's great. Well, let's see what your customers say. Do an A/B test on your platform and see. You might see a higher opt-in rate. I mean, that's what we're doing right now with one of our brands. We're testing a second page load versus a first page load. The second page load has higher opt-in rate, but less subscribers because less people are seeing it and getting to that second page.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I'm curious, do you ever get pushback from clients on SEO of saying Google might penalize on SEO if the pop-up is immediate?
No one has said that yet.
Yeah, and maybe brands you're working with, they're relying more on paid, and so maybe it's not an issue.
Right, yeah.
Do you have some examples you can show us, Kerri? Like I'm just dying to see some good ones. Your site at growwithgreenhouse.com, you have some excellent examples I see, but I want to, if you could talk us through some, and also some people are on audio podcasts, so you can kind of describe what we're looking at and what makes it work.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Just a little bit about SMS. why it's so important and valuable is it's the most direct way to access your customers right now. So like your text messages and what you send to your customers are going to sit amongst the text messages that they're getting from their mom, their husband, their wife, their children, right? So you have to make sure that when you're hitting them in that inbox that is so valuable to them, that is so personal to them, that you're hitting them in a very direct way, in a very short form. You're not spamming them. You're not trying to oversell them. So what we're seeing work in SMS is to be relatable and aiming for relationship building. We're sending things that the audience is talking about on Instagram. If somebody leaves an Instagram comment, that might inspire us to send a text about that. Anything that we're seeing in customer reviews, right? We might repurpose that for a text message. Anything that we're writing in the email, repurposing that in the short form for an SMS message. Anything that you have a blog about that you think is really good content, it's very valuable for the audience, repurpose that in a short form or multiple short forms and send that via SMS. That to me is really the key to the channel. A lot of people want to just like sell, and just only do sales. Like they think like SMS, it's our highest revenue generator. We got to hit them with a sale. Imagine if you had someone in your text message that only would text you when they needed something from you or when they wanted something from you, right? You would not be responding to that person. Like you just have to think of your list as like actual human beings. Like, and what do you want? How do you want to be portrayed as a brand, and what do you want them to think about when they see your text messages,
Yeah. Can you go back to that example, Kerri? I just want to call this out but what is OXB? Sorry.
OXB is a jewelry brand. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. So these are all season stunner cigar bands, and the text has a picture of, looks like someone's got their hat on and they're kind of holding it. Is that right? And then OXB, test things that are fun to hold while you're wearing a statement cigar band. And then each of these are like a little emojis, got the finger emoji or one of those, right? It says your iced coffee, bike handles, your BFF's hand, your phone for a selfie. Need we say more? Shop now. And then there's a link, and then stop to stop test. Pretty interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Because even just seeing it, like here's an example of an SMS message. Talk us through this one a little bit.
Yeah, well, this is an example where, number one, we've tested a lot of things for this brand, and we found out because SMS is very direct, and it's like, I think, I don't know the exact statistic, which is bad because I totally should, but I want to say like 90% of text messages are opened or clicked within the first like 15 minutes of sending them. So because it's like very quick and very direct, we found that when you just send one product or you feature like one product, it has a much higher conversion rate because it's just like, here's a product, here's the inspo, click to buy. So we're doing straight product features with this brand. But we don't want to just be like, here's a ring, buy now. We want to kind of inspire them, right? And we've actually looked through the Instagram comments. So, one of the Instagram posts was like, what would you guys hold while you're wearing this ring? And everyone started commenting, like my Peloton bike handles, like, my phone when I'm taking a selfie. And that's what inspired this text. It's like, so then we said things that are fun to hold while you're wearing this ring, iced coffee. So this was really developed based off of the audience and what they already said they like and what they're into. So, you have to have knowledge of your audience. And this is a text message like this was one of our highest performances, really resonated with the audience and with the customers on the list. And it's not very transactional, and that's the key.
It's still got the shop link. It's in there, but that's not the first thing you say. And I noticed
Right.
you mentioned, you're saying, let's have some social proof. If someone comments or reviews us, let's send that so other people, they know what other people are saying. I also would just say this is quite informal. Like it's not crazy to think something like this your friend could send you. The picture's relatively informal. It's not this polished branded picture from what I can see.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I'm ignorant on this, but is that like an attentive tracked link then with the shop now? Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
So it's got the UTM parameters and everything like that, basically.
Correct. Yeah. When you use the SMS platforms, they will append the UTMs and do a short link because, character count is very important for SMS. So when you use a shorter link, or help reduce the characters. So
That's great. All right. I know you wanted to show the next slide. That's fine. I just want to talk through that because this looks awesome. Thank you.
our first example is from a hair brand, and essentially we're pushing a product here, but it's featured within a blog post. So we don't really want to be selly. We want to give the audience value first. So we're speaking to them with something that they want, right? To master the art of extension consultation and watch your clientele skyrocket. You want to know how? We got you. Follow these tips, and a link to the blog. They'll read this and they'll get the value, they'll get inspired, and they'll click and they'll buy the product. This was, all of these are our top performing SMS campaigns for the month of May for each brand. So each one of these SMSs generated the most revenue.
The very first thing is you have the brand name : and then the message. So they know it's coming from the brand. There's no confusion about that.
Oh, 100%. That is like a mandatory must have.
That's great. Even that, I'm learning things here. So, and then the skyrocket, we got the rocket emoji to keep it fun. And then follow these tips. It's like, this is more content marketing. We're taking them to a blog post, which is then going to help convert them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this brand on the first example, they are running promotions, and we also did promotional text messages during this month, but this text message drove the most revenue. It's not a sale. It drove to a blog post, but it's what they want. It's what the audiences wants. You know, we know what they want. They want more clients. So we're giving them what they want. We're helping them out. We're providing them with value.
Educate your prospects via SMS. Love this. Okay, great. Let's keep going. I love these.
Yeah. Second one again was the jewelry brand. So we're also again featuring one product. We're starting off by saying bold, classy, and one of a kind. The signet rings, they not only look cute AF, so we're being trendy, right? We know the audience, we know their age, we know what gender they are, so we know what they're into. They're sweat-proof, high-quality metal, lets you make a statement anywhere. You can add your initials to make it yours, you know? And just 2 links, whether they want to shop the small ring or the large ring.
Anything to say about the formatting in terms of when are you given a line break? Like it's very clean looking. It's you know, we don't want it to be too formal like it's an email, but also like we can see, oh yeah, there's the link, that's called action. You're using the little greater than arrows to say, hey, here's the link, right?
Yeah, anytime that you can make it seem like just like a message from a friend is better. Line breaks will add characters, and they'll also make it look much longer, which at some point will start to feel like an ad and a sale, you know, to the customer.
That's great. All right. What about these other ones?
Yeah, the last one, the third one is a sale, but you notice we didn't start with the sale, you know, so it's summertime now. We said calling all beach lovers, your summer skin awaits. Our coffee scrub, it exfoliates, hydrates, and leave you with a freshly vacay glow. Exclusive sale for our SMS subscribers. Use this code for 15% off the scrub. So we didn't lead with the offer. We didn't lead with the ask. We led with what it's going to give you. Calling the beach lovers, and they're going to read that very first preview line in their preview messages, and they're going to be like, I'm a beach lover. Let me see what this is all about, you know? Whereas if it just said 15% off scrub on that first line, they'd be like, forget about it. I'm not trying, you know? So we just want to like get the intrigue. You know, that very first line is very similar to your subject line in an email.
Customer persona here, Gen Z, people in their 20s, millennial, people in their 30s. Like what's the...
Yeah. Most of our brands are in that 20 to 30 younger customer, Gen Z.
Okay. Love those.
Yeah. And then the last one is we had a lot of fun with this brand. They're pre-made cocktails delivered, and we started off with a point of view. So this message says POV, which is very trendy right now on TikTok and Instagram. So POV, you're about to take a sip of the Peach Inferno, the sweet and spicy scent of fresh peach and grapefruit mixed with house-made jalapeno syrup catches your taste buds and your mouth starts to water. This is it, you think. This is happiness. Order now.
I love this one. This is actual experience. We're
Yes.
involving the senses. Like This is excellent direct response marketing. Thank you for showing this one.
It's all about the relation and the experience. Like, if just imagine if every single text message you sent to your customer was just sale, 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 buy, 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 15% off, 15% off, 15% off, they would get sick. They'll unsubscribe like immediately.
I might be getting us off track here, but I'm curious, is this sent out like a newsletter blast, or this is like a flow in Klaviyo? Like how does someone get this, or when do they receive it?
These are campaigns. So, SMS strategy, when done correctly or well, just mimics what you have going on email, basically. So similarly to your email, you would set up your flows, you do the same, and your automations for your SMS. Your welcome series, your abandoned carts, your post-purchase, your win back, all that fun stuff that happens in SMS. And those can be your more transactional messages. Like, we saw you looking, check out now, this product is low in stock and you were checking it out. Here's the link to buy. Hey, we saw you left your cart. Can we help you? Those are like your automations, and you can make those very transactional. But then your campaigns, your one-off messages, you should be sending about 6 to 8 campaigns on SMS per month. Yeah, aside from your automations. So 6 to 8 campaign messages on SMS per month. And then having all your core automations set up as well.
Yeah. Thank you for giving frequency guidance. We do Klaviyo as well, just like you guys. And we're regularly here. Like, our clients are regularly nervous about, we don't want to send people too much. We don't want to get unsubscribers. How do you talk your clients through that of, here's the right frequency, we're doing buy or die, like what's that conversation like when you have that with them?
It's different. I mean, number one, we love to work with brands who trust us. And I think that would be my recommendation for a brand. If you're like, because I've been on the brand side, right? I've been on both sides of it. If you're a brand that's going to be working with a marketing agency, it's great to like share your ideas with them, but know that you've hired experts, who know the proper cadence and the proper strategies that are going to get you the best results.
Can I pay you to tell our clients that?
It's a frequent talk track I have, but we like to work with people who really respect that, that we know what we're doing. And that's why they hired us. Like, you would not want to hire someone and then have to tell them what to do, So that's number one. And then number two, for email and SMS, I always kind of explain similarly that kind of story I was telling of like, you can't always reach your customers when you want the sale. You need to be constantly staying top of mind. So you have brands that are out there, like on an extreme level, like a Sephora sending multiple emails a day, multiple text messages a week. Skims, who's sending daily text and emails, right? You have brands on the smaller level that are sending 2 a week, on both email and SMS. If you're only showing up on those channels once a month, twice a month, like, you're nowhere near in comparison what the other brands are doing. So already you're at a disadvantage because you're just not even mirroring the frequency of your competitors. Like, frequency wins. We know that it takes about 6 to 8 touch points for a customer to buy. So when you think about that and you're only sending 2 text messages per month, like 6 to 8, that's like 3 to 4 months to convert someone. That's insane. So upping that frequency is going to help keep your brand top of mind as long as the content is relevant and what your customer wants to see.
Wow, these are great. Thank you. Are there other things you want to show us here?
Let me see. No, that's it for SMS.
Love it. Are there any opt-in pieces you can give us an example of, or show us a good opt-in offer of how does this go, of what does the email opt-in look like, and then what does the SMS opt-in look like? And I apologize, I'm putting you on the spot on this.
You are putting me on the spot. No, let me pull something up here. Like I said, I'm very biased at this point. So I love Attentive, and I just love their pop-up experience. And for me, I have taken brands from SMS Bump, which is a yacht company, to Attentive, and increase the opt-in rate from 2% to like 5% just from using their pop-up. Didn't change the offer, didn't change the wording, didn't change anything about it. Just, very simply, this pop-up. I don't know what it is about it. It just works well. So let me share my screen and I'll show you.
And you said it's the attentive pop-up, and so that the initial question about email, it puts them into Klaviyo if they opt into that, and then if they opt into SMS, then they get into attentive, right?
Correct. Yes. So now this pop-up can be mimicked on other channels. You could build this similar pop-up in Klaviyo, Privy, PostScript. You could build this anywhere, but this is kind of like the layout I've seen. So this is the actual attentive platform. So first step would be the email, full screen. It's a full screen pop-up on mobile. Right. Oh, no. Because the more fields you add, like first name, what are you here for? What are you shopping for? That's going to decrease your opt-in rate. The more that customers have to do, you make it like a form that they have to fill out. That's going to reduce your opt-in rate. Keep it very simple. Get their email address, continue.
Ready to get sweaty, take 10% off your first OXB order, email address, continue. Or there's the text below, no thanks, I'll pay full price. There's kind of a, oh no, I don't want to get an offer. So you're kind of pushing back a bit. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this first screen, it's kind of like, I don't know the proper word to use, but it's kind of like a trick. They think, okay, I just enter my email and I'll get the offer. And then we say, oh, the second screen then is after you hit continue. Your second screen is, oh, you're so close. Sign up for our SMS list to get the code. And then you hit get 10% off now. And this is why I love Attentive and PostScript. They both do this where you click this button and it will take you directly to your text messages. And all you have to do is hit send this text, and then you get the welcome series right after that.
So they opt in inside their text app, not inside.
Right. So they don't actually have to enter their phone number. This is for mobile. So they don't actually have to enter their phone number. It's a 2-tap opt-in. So basically I hit the button, it navigates me to my messages, I hit send, and I'm opted in.
Yeah.
So this structure, email only, email first, a continue button to an SMS opt-in, performs well. Things that you could do, now because this talks to Klaviyo, this will trigger your welcome series, which does give them the code. So let's say they enter their email on the first screen, they hit continue, then they decide, I don't want to sign up for SMS, and I exit out. They'll still send the email to Klaviyo and the welcome series will still trigger. So they'll still get the code, they'll still get on the list. They just won't be added to your SMS list. Some people, we've tested things like, let's say you want to put a 10% off on your first screen for email, offering like an extra 5% off for your SMS, Here, get 10% off if you join the email, get an extra 5% off, making it 15% when you sign up for texts. Little tactics like this. I've also seen psychology, all right, take 10% off your first order, enter your email, continue, and then saying something like, can't wait, get this code sent right to your phone right now, Mm-hmm. So there's ways that you can kind of try to speed up, the process. The goal is, ideally you'd like to get them on both lists, but even if you just get them on one, be happy with that because you've at least started the process of collecting their data.
All right. I'm so glad I made you pull this up because this is gold. You've truly delivered as the SMS Queen today, so thank you. I want to be respectful of your time here. Just thank you so much for sharing your expertise. Who's a good fit for you guys, and where can they find you?
We're working with brands right now who have email lists of about 20K, doing about 1 to 5 million in annual revenue. Our focus is really on those customer relationships, nurturing the customers. We're not, salesy agency coming from a brand side. Everybody that works on our team has been on the brand side of things. So we're brand first marketers. We respect your customers' inboxes, and we manage email and SMS only for e-commerce brands.
Love it. Growwithgreenhouse.com, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Love it. All right. Kerri McDonald, thank you for sharing what's working in e-commerce.
Thank you, Egan. Thank you.